We all know the struggle of finding that perfect guitar. One that not only sounds amazing, but also feels like an extension of our own body. A guitar that resonates with your soul and inspires you to make amazing music. The problem is, most mass production guitars often lack that soul. They lack that personal touch and that connection. They're often built with a formula in mind and not with passion. I guess that's one of the downsides of technology and globalization. However, it doesn't have to be the case. Enter the Burman Guitars and the Sola Junior. This guitar is handcrafted with the utmost attention to detail and passion. It's not just a musical instrument, it's actually a work of art. The creator's passion for building guitars is evident in every single aspect, from the choice of the wood, to the neck carve, to the hardware. And let's not forget this amazing design. Before we start talking about some of the specs of this amazing guitar and what makes it special in today's grey world, I want to give you a bit of background how I first came into contact with Burman Guitars and why the Sola Junior caught my eye immediately. Burman Guitars is the creation of a gentleman called Nick Burman, and you may have watched my interview with him. I find him to be an incredibly fascinating person because he is one of those people that started off very young, building his own guitars, learning all there is about guitar making, about wood making, about every single aspect of the guitar by himself, just by reading, researching. And so it is a very inspirational story. I first became aware of Burman Guitars because of my good and dear friends at the London International Guitar Show. So I noticed throughout the years that I've been attending that Burman Guitars were always there, and they always had some amazing models that really stood out from the crowd. At least personally, I thought stood out from the crowd in terms of designs and specs and just overall vibe. One of the main advantages of social media is that you are then able to interact with companies like that. And so I started chatting with Nick at Burman Guitars, and we did find out that we have very, very often similar ideas on things, and we had a lot in common in terms of what we liked in guitars, what we didn't like, whether it's expensive guitars, inexpensive guitars, etc. Fast forward to the 2023 London International Guitar Show, and one of my main stops was obviously to go say hi to Nick in person and check out his latest models. And I've got to say, as soon as I walked down, I immediately saw the Sola Junior. There was something about it that, for me, was like a spaceship had just landed and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. In a world where everyone wants to show what they can do, this showed what Burman Guitars can do in a very different way by being extremely simple, beautiful, and really aesthetically just fell in love with the guitar without even picking it up. I then picked it up and it just confirmed to me all of the things. Obviously, at a guitar show, it's very difficult to hear what a guitar is. You've got a few minutes to play it. It's very loud, noisy, but I was really, really fascinated with this guitar. I think the thing that immediately struck me was obviously single pickup guitar. Very minimalist. I love single pickup tellies, but I also love simple, ergonomical guitars. And this, for me, is an incredible design. As I did actually say to Nick, this is like if we took a maybe Les Paul Jr. Telecaster and brought it into the future, but not in a super high-tech future. This is the future that you may have seen in those 1950s sci-fi films that we all love, and I definitely love. It's like a flying car. It's such an amazing design. It's a retro, I think, modern design. That's the best way of putting it. So let's talk specs. This is a beautiful poplar body, really nice weight to it. It's not light. I actually thought that it was going to be really light and a bit flimsy, but it's actually perfect. It's not heavy either. It's just the right weight. And as you can see, it balances very, very well on your knee. No neck dive. Again, one of my preconceptions with this design was that it was going to maybe have a bit of neck dive. And as soon as I tried it at the show, one of the first things that I said to Nick was, incredible. It doesn't dive. It's really comfortable to play sitting down as well. So we said poplar body, beautiful maple neck. Now we'll talk about the shape of the neck in a little bit, but we have a very nice rosewood fingerboard, stainless steel frets, then Graphtec nuts. And again, one of the beauties of having a handmade guitar is that the person making the guitar will spend a little more time than maybe you'd expect on mass-produced guitars on cutting the nut. It is an absolute beauty. I've rarely seen a nut cut this well. Then the two main things for me here: Goto tuners, which work incredibly well, and a Goto bridge, wrap over bridge. Now, for me, these two aspects are amongst the most important things, and you can tell that the creator of this guitar has really put in a lot of thoughts into not only making an instrument that is solid, so doesn't go out of tune, but that is also versatile and comfortable to play, and with a lot of attention, because adding this specific bridge to this guitar, this body shape, this pickup is a genius idea, because it all flows together, not only aesthetically, but also when you play it. Then you have a bare knuckle boot can P90 and single volume, single tone. So really quite simple specs. I think what I find fascinating about this guitar is not only it's very high quality, so obviously you can tell that every single detail is searched, it's thought of. For example, at the output jack, just incredible attention to detail. Putting it here is a great solution. It doesn't affect anything. It's just very convenient to have it here. Most of us, when playing standing up, will wrap our lead into our strap, and it just makes perfect sense to have it here. So incredible. But I think this actually goes a step forward, and this simplistic vibe actually allows the player to think about the instrument in a maybe different way. It's not only a tool that you use to achieve a certain sound. For example, you take a Gibson Les Paul to play like Slash, or a Strat to play like Jimi Hendrix. I think it helps create something new. It helps take all the influences from the past, but use them in a little bit of a different way. I think that's what the real value added of a guitar that has been made with passion, that has been made with care and love, brings to the table. It's not only a tool that you use, but it's also parts and parcel of the music that you make. So it's as integral to the song that you're writing as you are. I've got to say, having played this for a number of days now, non-stop, because I just can't put it down, I came to a few really interesting, I think, observations. First of all, the neck of the guitar is quite a bit chunkier than most of the Fender style C-shaped necks. It's got a little bit of thickness to it, which I've got to say is incredibly comfortable, and it's a really nice shape. It feels very, very easy to play, but also it's, in a funny way, maybe helps the guitar a little bit with a bit more bottom end, a bit more punch to the sound. The other thing that I've noticed is the way the P90 and the wraparound Goto bridge sound together, I think, is outstanding. It really is. What I found really interesting is how responsive this specific setup is to picking. So if you pick here, it sounds a certain way. If you pick down here, having also this area here gets you into a very different feel. And it really forces you to interact with the instrument in a way that maybe we don't do with many other guitars. So it is a really interesting experience. I would almost equate it to playing an acoustic guitar. So it has that incredible, immediate kind of feedback. It's almost like the guitar is reacting to the way you pick and giving it back to you. So really, really absolutely adore the P90 pickup with this wraparound bridge. The bridge is overall really comfortable, so even if you're palm muting, works really well. Another point which I find is very nice is the perfect angle. The bridge, the strings coming through the neck. What I really like about this is that you can feel the guitar. You've got the right string tension. And that's something that I find very interesting, because on a lot of guitars, especially Strat type, I find that sometimes there's not enough fight. And I'm not saying that here the guitar is fighting back, because it's very easy to play, but it just has that kind of rhythmic, it has that immediate impact, which is caused by the fact that there's great string tension here, so you can get those rhythmic sounds really well. I think, for example, going back to Malcolm Young, the thing that he did, which was brilliant, and it's also due to the guitar he played, was that kind of rhythmic sound. It wasn't just high gain amp, it was clean but with rhythm, and by playing like that, he created a specific sound. This has a very similar vibe. It has a great rhythmic sound to it. You can hear every single thing that you play. Now, I must say, you cannot hide behind this guitar. So one of the things I love, but not everyone may love now, is that this is not a particularly forgiving guitar. So if you screw up, you screw up. This will not hide it. I also think it is very important to mention that this is one of the stock guitars. Now, if you head over to their website, which I'll put in the details, essentially you can have a chat with them and they will build you whatever you want. I've got to say, in terms of the actual guitar and everything else that comes with it, the vibe, the look, everything, this, in my opinion, has to be top 2 best guitars I've ever played in my life. It is really incredible, and I am really in love with it. It's an amazing guitar. I really, really like it. And it does show that if you put enough passion, love, and care into whatever it is you're doing, you will do something special. because this is special. So overall, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really proud and honored to be able to bring this beautiful guitar to you. It's just an example of what Burman Guitars can do. So get in touch with them because they are incredibly friendly and they can really do whatever you want. They have really cool guitars coming up in their stock lineup, but it's a custom shop at, can I just say, really quite reasonable prices. Go on their website and check the price of this guitar because I think you'll be really surprised. And to be honest, I think it puts to shame a lot of these big names, or definitely the top two big names out there, because this is on a whole different level. As always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'm really, really interested in what you think. Head over to the Burman Guitars website and check some of the models out. They've got loads of different variations. Nick does all the finishing himself. This is a beautiful color, but you can get it in all different styles. They've got really cool projects coming up. So go check it out and let me know what you guys think. Write it in the comments. Let me know, do you think maybe as a community we should maybe pay a little more attention to the small builders, the custom builders like Burman Guitars, because often maybe we settle for something that we think is close enough to our dream guitar, but we should actually have one made for us. So please like, subscribe, comment, ring the notification bell, do whatever you want to keep that algorithm happy, so I can keep reviewing some really cool guitars, amps, effects, the whole lot. As always, be good, be nice to each other, please, and peace out.